Over the last 12 years of my life, I have run thousands of miles. I've acquired tons of running gear and equipment, and of course, running shoes. But if I had to start over, these are the first 6 things that I personally would purchase. I don't think I should have to preface this, but I've been doing YouTube long enough to know better. These are items that I would tell myself to buy. I'm not telling you guys to buy them at most. This is just a recommendation. That being said, let's jump into the very first item. That of course is gonna be nasal strips. Now these are not an everyday use item. This is something that I wake up and toss on before a workout or a long run in the morning. Some people use them the night before to sleep a little bit better. I don't really know that it makes that much of a difference. But when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I find that my nose is a little stuffy, clogged, whatnot. And putting this on definitely helps open it up a little bit more. And when I'm at the track running or on the roads, I do think that it helps make it a little easier to breathe. And sometimes I just need that reminder to say, hey, make sure you're also breathing through your nose and not just your mouth. So I've been really enjoying using these things. They're super easy to put on. They don't bother me. Sometimes I do get an itch under one of them and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait to take this off so I can itch my nose. But yeah, that's the only downside I'd say to this thing. And you know, it's not gonna work for everybody, of course. I think it works for me. So I use them, especially for races on a cold morning. Like this is really nice to have and just toss on. But yeah, this is something super simple, super cheap. I get these off of like Amazon. I don't really have any affiliation with any of these things, so super nice to just toss on, take care of. Now let's jump over into item number 2. This one we're going to talk about is the heart rate monitor. This specifically is from COROS. I am a COROS affiliate, so we're going to be talking about this. Granted, I bought this a year before I became affiliated with the brand and I've been using it ever since. So it's not like this is a biased opinion. This is something that I actually use and love. This goes on your arm. I prefer the armband over the chest strap. I've gone through chest straps and just, it's not that they, you know, affect how you breathe, but sometimes when it's more humid out, I feel like it's harder to breathe and having that on my chest just bothers me sometimes. So the armband is just a little bit more comfortable in my opinion. And this is something that I wish I had earlier, honestly. I do a lot of heart rate training nowadays with my coach because I'm training alone. And you know, in college, it really didn't matter too much, but sometimes I go on an easy run and I see my heart rate after like peak 150, 160. And I was like, there's no way that's what my heart rate was. So it's just something more so peace of mind when it comes to the easy runs, but also useful for workouts and long runs. Keep me under control. Sometimes I like to go out a little too hard in a long run, and having, you know, the ability to check my current heart rate and average heart rate on my watch with this and know it's accurate, it's really nice because I can say, hey, you need to slow down, you need to relax, take a breath, working a little too hard right now, let's relax. That's not the point of this run, and that's where this comes to play. I will say, as I said earlier, COROS affiliate, if you are looking to get anything through COROS, that being a new watch, a heart rate monitor, the Pod 2, take a check out at my the link in my bio. I earn 10% commission on anything you guys buy through that link. So if you're looking to support the channel, it's a great way to do that. But moving on to our next item, and this is not actually an item that is part of the 6, but rather the sponsor of today's video. And that's gonna be a portable charger from Vrurc. I probably just butchered the name of that, VRURC. This portable charger is super cool. It's very slim. It has built-in cables, which I find really nice. It has a lightning on one side that plugs into something like an iPhone or an iPad. Obviously, with the iPhone switching to USB Type-C charging, it also has a USB Type-C and a micro charger on the other side. So I could also plug in something like my AirPods at the same time as I'm charging my iPhone. And not only that, on the very bottom, it has 2 slots, one for a USB cable and one for a USB Type-C cable. There's also a button you can press to check how much battery you have on the portable charger. One thing that I hate about portable chargers is sometimes it's really hard to tell how much battery life one has. They do like the 4 little bars and then it goes down to 3 and then 2. This one's super nice because there's an LED screen on the front. It tells you right here how much battery is left. Right now, you know, 83% battery is what I have left. And to charge this is even cooler because it has a wall plug that just pops out from the top. And all you do is plug this straight into any wall charger, extension cord, you know, triple outlet, whatever you got. Plugs right in, charges up. Super simple, super nice. I have had a lot of fun using this and it's been amazing to just leave in my backpack and have as an option when I'm out traveling. You guys know I travel quite a bit and I'll be traveling again next weekend when I go out to Michigan for my half marathon. being able to just slide this into my backpack and plug anything in from it is super nice. And like I said, those slots at the bottom are super helpful because obviously the cable on the side for the USB Type-C and the Lightning charger, they're not that long. Obviously, if I'm not using my phone and I just want to plug it in, this is perfect. But if I want to use my phone and leave this in my pocket, I also have the option to plug a cord in on the bottom and then plug it into my phone, which I personally think is super nice. So yeah, I really enjoy this thing. If you guys are interested, I'll leave a link to the Amazon in my description of this video. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And again, thank you Verk for sponsoring today's video. Let's get into the next item, the third item, which I'm actually going to jump over here and talk about the SIS energy gels. These are the isotonic gels. Gels are something that I wish I would have learned about sooner. I've only been taking them for about 2 years now. I've also been experimenting with other gels in the meantime. I've tried Goo, I've tried Morton, I've tried Honey Stinger, and to be honest with you, the SIS isotonic are my favorite by far. But what is the point of having gels? What would I use them for? The obvious answer is for long runs. If I had these back in college when I was doing those long runs with the team, this would have been a game changer. Taking gels on your long run, for me, the big thing is honestly, it makes the long run afterwards feel so much easier on my legs. I don't feel like I used as much energy, and it's easier to get through the long run. The second half of the long run feels so much easier when you're taking a gel halfway through. And obviously you could take more than one gel during a long run depending on how long it is. Today I had a 13 miler. I took one at mile 7. Normally I do 16 to 17 miles. I'll still take one in between that as well. It just makes everything a little bit easier. I really wish I had these sooner, and if I had to start over, I would get the isotonic from SIS. I'm also sponsored by the feed, so there's a link in my description. I'm just talking about description links, I apologize, but this actually gets you 10% off of most items from the feed, so this one helps you guys a ton if you're looking to get anything from the feed. Shout out the feed, we love the feed. Yeah, gels are definitely something I wish I would have known about earlier. Let's go into our next item though. We're gonna jump over to what you guys could consider the supplement part of this video. These are 3 things that I would absolutely start taking if I was a runner. And the first 2 are kind of go together. So I'm gonna say this is item 4. This is iron and magnesium. Magnesium for sleep, iron for iron deficiency. Most runners are iron deficient. I'm also vegetarian, so I'm gonna be super deficient when it comes to iron. I like to take like 2 of these before workouts, long runs, races, 1 just before easy days. You could probably take 2 every day if I'm being honest. Like that's how deficient I am when it comes to iron. But yeah, these are just Hemoplex iron soft gels. I've really liked these ones specifically. I have no affiliation with this brand, just the ones I like the most. And then this is magnesium glycinate, which I probably just butchered the name of that as well. But this also helps with sleep, and I have been taking these for a very long time now. My college athletic trainer recommended me to jump on these. And yeah, if I had to start over, these 2 things would be literally probably the first 2 things I'd purchase, honestly, because it's so important to make sure you're up on your nutrients. These 2 are just such staples. I don't know what I would do without them. I wouldn't be able to run nearly as fast without them. But the other thing I have over here is we can consider item 5. This is caffeine. Now, I don't drink coffee. I don't really get caffeine. I don't drink energy drinks, I should say. So I don't really get caffeine from anything else but this, unless I'm drinking tea, I guess, but such a low amount, it doesn't really. Anyways, this is 200 milligrams of caffeine. I take this only before workouts and long runs, so I'm only taking it around 3 times per week, and that even being double threshold sessions, only in the morning, not in the afternoon. So if I'm doing an afternoon workout, I wouldn't take this. I'm only really taking caffeine too because of how early I wake up and the little amount of time I have between waking up and starting my workout. It's just super helpful with getting my body awake, keeping my mind in check. There's a lot of benefits when it comes to caffeine. Also, it's non-addictive, so I'm never like craving this, which is super nice. Unlike, you know, coffee drinkers, I feel like need a cup of coffee sometimes, I find. So yeah, this is super easy, super nice to take. It's just in a pill form too, so you get it all in one hit. Obviously, there are some drawbacks. Some people are gonna be a little bit more sensitive to caffeine. They might get the jitters, something like that with 200 milligrams. So it's hit or miss depending on who you are. But for me personally, I've reacted really well to this specific dosage and this type of caffeine. I've been taking this for a while now. I get this off of Amazon as well. And yeah, it's super nice. I would definitely have told myself to start taking caffeine earlier because I wasn't all throughout college. It wasn't something I really started to do until after college. And yeah, this was definitely a game changer, especially for those early morning workouts. The last thing we're going to talk about, item number 6, is going to be another thing from COROS. This is the Pod 2. I don't even know how well you're going to be able to see this far away, but this thing is an absolute game changer for training alone. If you train alone, I think this is something you might actually really like and be looking for, because what this does for me, it does a lot of things, but what it does for me specifically is give me real-time pace updates. A lot of you know when you look down at your watch and you're looking at your pace, that pace is from 3 to 5 seconds ago. Some watches even further back. You have a delay between when you are running and the pace you're looking at. So you could be running 7:10 pace, look down at your watch and you're actually running 7:20 pace. And that's a big difference when it comes to something like a workout, where if I'm on the track going to try to do, mile repeats, 1Ks, like it's really nice to be able to look down, see the pace I'm at, and know whether or not I need to pick up the pace or slow it down. It's super hard to be running by yourself and be evenly splitting miles, but this thing has been an absolute game changer. I wish I would have bought it sooner, but this is the one thing that actually worked out really well, because COROS actually sent to me when we did our affiliation right at the beginning, alongside the Pace Pro, of course. But yeah, this thing's super nice. I looked at getting this earlier and I just never could hit that confirm purchase button. And I kind of wish I didn't, but also it really worked out for me in the end, because obviously they sent it to me. And yeah, this thing is just super nice. Like I said, it's for those workouts. Pacing alone by yourself, it can be a doozy, but this really does help. And this is something that I wish I would have bought earlier when it comes for me training alone. Right when I graduated college, this would have been like the perfect thing for me to have gotten, but I got it now, and that is all that matters. And yeah, these are all 6 of the things, including this of course, that I wish I would have known about sooner, or at the very least, if I had to start over, the things that I would purchase right away. Such important items for me and my training specifically. If you find yourself in any of the categories that I talked about, maybe check it out for yourself. But of course, like I said, these are at most recommendations. I'm not telling you to go out and buy them. It's just things that I would personally buy if I had to start over day one. That being said though, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop them in the comment section down below. Hope to see you guys next week with another video. Take care, love all things, and peace out.